The home appraisal. You know, just hearing those words can make you feel a little tense, right? It's like your home, your biggest investment, is about to take a final exam. It can feel pretty high stakes, but I promise you, it absolutely doesn't have to be. Let's talk about how to turn that anxiety into some real confidence.
It really does feel like a test, doesn't it? The appraiser shows up, and all of a sudden, you're looking at your own home through a microscope, worried that every little scuff or cracked tile is going to knock points off the final grade. It's this moment of judgment that so many homeowners dread. You just hope that the number they come back with reflects all the love, the money, and the hard work you've poured into the place.
But here's the great news. This is not a test you have to passively sit and take. You are not powerless here, not at all. With just a little bit of smart prep, you can actually help guide the outcome, and that's exactly what we're going to cover, how to give the appraiser everything they need to see your home's true value.
So, where do we start? We start with the foundation. We're going to build a file with all the core documents that officially define your property. Think of it like you're creating the official biography of your home. This makes the appraiser's job way easier from the get-go, because all the basic facts are right there, verified and ready.
Okay, here's your core checklist. You're going to want to grab your most recent property tax bill, the closing statement if you bought the house in the last 3 years or so, a survey or plot map, and any original blueprints or HOA docs you might have. Now, having these in a simple folder for them does more than just save time. It immediately sends a signal that you're an organized, on-top-of-it homeowner. It just sets a really great professional tone for the entire visit.
All right, now for the part where you really get to make a difference. This section is not just about the boring facts and figures. This is about telling the story of your home, specifically the story of how you've made it better. This is your chance to actively show off the value you've added.
And I mean, prove it. See, an appraiser can walk in and see you have a beautiful new kitchen. But what they can't see just by looking is how much it cost, the quality of the appliances, or that you just had it installed 6 months ago. Your paperwork, that's the hard evidence that turns their impression of, oh, this looks nice, into a quantifiable, actual number in their final report.
So how do you present all this proof? Well, it's a super simple 3-step process. First, just make a list of your major improvements, and importantly, include the dates. You know, new roof, 2021, new HVAC, 2022. Second, dig up the receipts and invoices for those big-ticket items. And third, find the permits for any major work like an addition or a finished basement. It's just like in school. When you show your work, you're way more likely to get full credit.
And why does showing your work matter so much? It's not just about looking organized. It's about your bottom line. Having these clear records can have a direct positive financial impact on your appraisal. Every single receipt you provide is another data point that helps the appraiser justify a higher value to the lender. It's that simple. Okay, next up, let's talk about the legal stuff. You know, the fine print. And this part is absolutely essential. The appraiser and the lender, they need to know about any unique legal circumstances tied to your property. Getting ahead of this stuff now helps prevent any surprises or annoying delays down the road.
Really, this all just comes down to transparency. Are you renting out the basement apartment? Have the lease agreement ready to go. You got a shared driveway or utility easement on your property? Just jot down a note about it. Being upfront about these things makes it so much easier for the appraiser to do their job accurately without any last-minute holdups.
And you know, it's also really helpful to understand what your job is versus what your lender's job is. Your role is to provide all that property-specific stuff we just talked about, leases, easements, and so on. Your lender, on the other hand, they're the ones responsible for giving the appraiser the sales contract and any specific loan info, like for an FHA or VA loan. Knowing who does what can save you a whole lot of confusion.
Okay, we have covered all of the must-haves. Now let's talk about the finishing touches. I want you to think of these as the optional extra credit items. They aren't required, but man, they really show you're a proactive homeowner who wants to make this whole process as smooth as possible for everybody.
So what's on the extra credit list? Well, if you happen to have a copy of a previous appraisal, that can provide some really useful context. You could also include a little note about cool neighborhood amenities. Maybe a new park just opened up or the schools have great ratings, things an appraiser from outside the area might not know. And then there's my personal favorite, the home fact sheet.
Let's talk about this home fact sheet because it is such a powerful little tool. It is literally just a one-page summary of your home's vital statistics. It puts all the key info, square footage, bed and bath count, the age of your roof, your HVAC, plus all your home's best features, all in one easy-to-scan document.
It's such a professional touch, and it's something the appraiser can physically take with them, making sure no key feature gets forgotten when they're back at their desk writing up your report.
So when you pull all of this together, I want you to remember this one thing. Putting this packet of info together is not just another chore. It's a strategic move. You are stepping into the role of a storyteller, and you're presenting a clear, compelling, evidence-backed narrative of your home's true value. You're helping guide the appraiser to the right conclusion.
In the end, it's not about passing some scary test. It's about telling a great story. And by preparing these documents, you are giving yourself all the tools you need to tell that story well. So the only real question left is the one you see right now. Is your home story ready to be told? After this, I think the answer can be a very confident yes.